Let's get it. All right, welcome to another edition of Ball N Biz. It's December 17th. Got a lot to get to. Probably our most packed show that we've had thus far in our pretty early career. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jeremy. Welcome back. Another episode of Ball N Biz where we're talking about ball and we're talking about business. Ryan and I, that's all we talk about. You know, barbershop talk. We talk about sports and we talk about business, how to get our paper up, how to get our bread up, different side hustles that we can do. And then we talk about sports. We grew up playing sports. We played D1 football. So, of course, naturally, that's all we talk about. We don't just limit it to football, though. We talk about a variety of sports because that's what we do. And of course, what's sports without a little sports betting as well. So we're going to talk about some different bets maybe that we hit on. I know you and I both hit on a couple last night, which was good. Yeah. And then we'll talk about some upcoming bets that we also like that maybe you could throw in to win some extra cash on the side.
Perfect. Before we get to the bets, let's talk about the news and notes real quick. Actually, pretty packed on this section, or usual section we get started off with. Tonight, NBA Cup, that's Milwaukee playing Oklahoma City Thunder in Las Vegas. We know the NBA is really trying to hype that up. We're going to have a lot more on that a little bit later in the show. Also, college football playoffs start on Friday, and they're going to go Saturday too. So it's going to be a busy weekend. Got the college boys back in action after a couple weeks being off, with the exception of Army Navy last weekend. College basketball also in full swing. Conference play getting going. It's been a little wild ride for number one. It's been shifting. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in some later episodes, but just keep in mind that college ball's starting to tune into that so you can be up to speed when we talk about it here in a couple weeks. And it's just that time of year, Jerm, where you hit that mid-December stride. NFL back on Saturday. That's when you know it's really the holidays, when the NFL playing on that Saturday. So they have a couple of good games too.
Even last night, they doubled up on the Monday night. You know it's December.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, wait, hold on. Wasn't it one Monday? I was getting confused. I was like, why am I seeing 4 teams? But you know it's December. So on Saturday, Houston at Kansas City, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. We know how especially that second one goes, but we know Houston's ready to play too. They got a lot of boys. They like to hit. Patrick Mahomes wounded. So it's going to be some good games coming up on Saturday. I think Netflix has one of those too. So, interesting coming up. Let's switch to the business real quick on the news and notes. A lot of news on this too. So the Dow dropped 300 points. That's big news for everybody with your stock portfolios. If you have your obviously 401ks, those retirement plans, that's the 9-day slide, first 9-day slide since 1978. Ooh. Not necessarily good news. That could bounce back, but also, when you hear bad news with that, don't go ahead and double down, go and dip back in. So we get time to jump back in on that because we know it's just going to go up over time. On the flip side, though, Bitcoin, $106,000, all-time high. You said you got Bitcoin?
I don't, but I'm about to.
You missed the boat. But you got to get in.
Yeah, I see. I hear. My gosh.
I mean, if we were, I first really heard about it 2020. Man, it was going for 60. Then it dipped back down to 40. And I was like, I had some and I got rid of it. I had to do something else. And now I'm sitting there. I'm back in now, but I got back in at like 88, 89, 90. So I'm up a little bit, but it ain't the same as getting to that 60-40 shoot. That would have been the year.
Woo! We'd have been cooking.
Yeah, we've been paid out. So definitely, hey, always the right time to invest is
right now.
So there you go.
Right now. No time like the present.
Ain't no time like the present. And for your investors, Jeremy, I want to hear your reaction to this, though. Interest rates could go down 1/4 point. The Fed's meeting today and tomorrow, the 17th and 18th here. It's expected to go down, but it's also expected to be the last cut for a while. Jerm, as an investor, how big is that?
That is huge because that means all these buyers are about to come out the woodworks and say, oh, hold on. 4.5% interest rate. The buyers are hiding right now. There's not a lot of buyers right now because they're scared of these 6% interest rates. But if you hear 4.5%, I mean, heck, my current mortgage is 4.5%. I bought this back right at the end of the pandemic, or right when it was ending. So my 4.5% sounds, at the time it sounded kind of high, but now as we hear these 6%, 7% interest rates, I'm like, wow, I'm never selling my house because I have a great interest rate. Well, now that we may come back to that, these buyers may come out of the woodworks and try to buy now, So which is great for people who are trying to sell homes because, hey, if buyers are out, that means everything's for sale. Everything's for sale.
Hey, keep it moving.
That buying pool just increases the lower the interest rates go. So, that could be huge for the economy and the real estate market for sure. That's speaking my language.
So depending on what happens with that, maybe we'll talk about that more next episode too.
Man, everything's for sale. Everything's for sale because everybody's going to be fighting over the houses now. You talk about bidding wars. There's really no bidding wars right now because there's not a lot of in order for there to be a war, there needs to be at least two people fighting over something.
Right.
There's not two people fighting over anything right now when it comes to real estate.
No, we've had a couple people who we've expressed interest to, then like backed off for whatever reason. They've come back to us saying, "Hey, what y'all thinking?" It's happened a couple times over the past month or two.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's interesting.
I mean, that interest rate can chop a mortgage $1,000, $1,500, dollars. Like that's a big jump. You know what I mean? Just off a 1.5 or a 1.25 down. That's huge. I'm here for it. I'm gonna be watching closely.
Okay, maybe. Hey, next week, tune in. We're gonna have more on that. We're gonna be talking more real estate. We're definitely gonna be diving into that. How the interest rates. It's gonna be a new year, coming up on a new year. So we're gonna have a lot of good stuff to talk about. Hey, what you can do for 2025. But we'll get that next episode.
Okay.
But let's get back to the shop talk though. Talk of the weekend, the Heisman. We know basically it came down to Austin Jeanty out there at Boise State, killing it on the ground, running the numbers up. For sure, it was between him and the eventual Heisman winner, Travis Hunter. Travis had a spectacular year. Jerm, first of all, did they get it right?
They did. They did get it right. Travis Hunter was one of one. I think Genty's one of many. There's the difference. I think we've seen a dominant running back before, time in and time out. He's not the first person we've seen do that. When you're one of many and you're up against one of one, that one of one's going to win. I think Genty wins the Heisman any other year. But because Travis Hunter is one of one, he wasn't a top one receiver. He wasn't a top one cornerback. But the fact that he did both great means he's one of one. And he had the most snaps in all of college football this year and was dominant on both sides of the ball. Again, he wasn't the number one corner. He wasn't the number one receiver, but he was an elite receiver and he was an elite corner. And they didn't, like Patrick Surtain for the Broncos, they don't try him too often. And that was the same way that for Hunter on the defensive side of the ball for the Buffs this year, they didn't try him too often. He did come away with 4 interceptions still. If I think they tried him a little bit more, he might have had 8. You know what I mean? With a couple defensive touchdowns.
I thought he had about 10 turnovers. I thought he had like 9 or so.
I thought he had 4 picks. I think he had a few forced fumbles for sure. One of them had a big goal line stand. Go ahead and fact check that while we're at it. But regardless, I think he would have, if they tried him a little bit more, I think those numbers jump out the gym even more so. So because he was one of one, they did get it right. And, politics never hurts. Coach Prime being your coach definitely doesn't hurt.
No, definitely
doesn't hurt.
No, he had, hold on, I'm on ESPN right now. He had, 9 picks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 defensive touchdown.
He had 9 picks this year? Or is that
no. I'm looking at the season. You're right. He had 4 and 1. You're right. He had 4 and 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because I thought I was like, wait, I thought it was more, but I was looking at when they were talking about career. That's his career.
Yeah, 9 picks over his career. He had 4 this year, though.
Yeah, so 4 picks, 1 forced fumble, and he had 31 tackles.
And that forced fumble was huge to seal the game.
I remember that.
Driving on him, big forced fumble on the goal line. He said that was his favorite play of the year. Yeah. And it wasn't him getting in the end zone. It wasn't him catching a touchdown pass from Shadur. It was him putting his nose on the ball and forcing a fumble to seal his team's win.
And talking about his offensive numbers, he had 92 catches, basically 1152 on the yards, and 14 TDs. So, and you talked about the snaps. 1380 snaps. So dang near 1,400 snaps this season.
Woo!
And
nobody else could do that.
That's a lot of snaps.
Genty could never.
That's a lot of snaps.
That's no knock to anybody who was a Heisman finalist. Again, they were just going up against one of one this year.
Yeah. They got it right.
They got it right for sure. What are your thoughts on it?
They got it right. And Ashton Jeanty, even though for a running back, his numbers are like he blew. If you look at him and you look at who was the Baltimore
Trent
running
Richardson, Derrick Henry.
Or you look at Derrick Henry's numbers, it blows him out. But you got to look at the competition, number one. And like you say, so knock some of those numbers back. We've seen guys like that, like you said, dude, going both ways. They don't even let kids play two sports these days. So to let them go both ways in a power four like that, it's got to be Travis. They got it right.
They got it right.
I hope he protects his money. I hope he is smart with it. He should get his bag. And if you're Travis, you trying to do that in the NFL?
Am I trying to play both ways in the NFL? No. I think in the NFL it's a different level. I think sure, bring him in on some packages. A third and long package. All right, we need an extra nickel out there or something like that. But I think in the NFL, you really need to hone in on it's time to hone in on your craft because I just think you just need to kind of dial in order.
What should he go? What should he go as?
Man, that's a good question. That dude is really, really good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
I think it's up to what that team needs, really.
But if he's going into the draft, I mean, the team gonna want to know, hey, what side of the ball are you playing?
Man, that's a receiver. I'm just gonna pick one. Receiver.
Yeah.
Receiver.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Hey, at the end of the day, we need to put points on the board. Yeah. Go play receiver. At the end of the day, in the NFL, we can throw away from you. Yeah. We can do that. And quarterbacks are good enough to have the ability to throw away from you, meaning literally I don't have to look at you all game. I'll just stay over here. And we can still beat you that way because quarterbacks are typically the ones that are winning. They're that good. Yeah. Versus receiver, I think he should be receiver for sure. 100%.
Yeah. And at worst case, he can always flip back to DB if it's not working out for whatever reason.
Exactly.
All the time. But no, he got to go both ways with it. Look, you see Shohei Ohtani got his money going both ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't let him pitch and they don't let him play outfield. Well, Shohei said, no, go ahead and let me do both. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go get it for you. And they ran him that $700 million when it was time to come get paid. Travis, now you're not going to get that. That's baseball money. You're not going to get 700 M's. But if you can be that nickel, if you can be that nickel corner, which every team has to have, if you can be that third wideout where you're in, sure, you might not be in every play. You might not be an everyday down, but that third wideout, that fourth wideout, he's playing at least 60% of the offense these days.
That's true. That's true.
And if he's a high draft pick, that means you're going to be playing from behind. That means you're going to be an empty. That means you're going to be in 4 receiver sets.
They're going to be spreading it around.
So if I'm Travis, now here's the thing with Travis. Here's his thing. One, he's got to make sure he gets, NFL to play calling is different. It's a lot. Hey, they say he's in. Coach Prime said he's in the books. So if he can keep up with the plays and physically, I'm more concerned about him physically.
That's the main thing. When we're talking about NFL, we're talking about not for long and how do you preserve your body and take care of your body. In the NFL, hey, them boys hit. If it's one thing they do, them boys hit.
And they sticking out there.
And, putting extra mileage on your body when it's not necessarily needed, then all right, cool. But maybe he does start out early in his career going both ways. But when we get to year 6, year 7, hey, Travis, it might be smart for you. Hey, you want to play 10 years?
Yeah.
Let's cut these snaps in half.
Yeah, maybe get your bag, then cut him. Yeah, cut him back. Yeah, see what is that? He should go try it. Year or two. And if he's like, hey, I got to focus one side or the other. Focus, one thing or another. I don't think anybody's going to fault him. I mean, obviously he's Heisman. He's been commended this far for, everything he's got going on. So yeah, they got it right. Definitely a bright future in front of him. I'm excited. He's just a ball player,
He's a ball player. He's good. He's great for the game. Positive attitude. He brings a little pop culture with him with Lil Wayne at his Heisman ceremony.
Yes, sir.
We love it. And,
I used to listen to that Wheezy before the games too. That Money on My Mind. That gets you right. That gets you right.
And Coach Prime gonna take care of him. So
yeah, he has thus far, and he's gonna continue to in the league. Let's keep talking about college football though. And I got to ask you the same question. Now, did the committee get it right? So let me set it up for you for the college football playoffs. That starts Friday. Right now, IU at Notre Dame. Winner plays Georgia. And Saturday, we got 3 games. Clemson versus Texas. Winner plays Arizona State. Tennessee at Ohio State. Winner plays Oregon. And then to cap it off, SMU at Penn State. Winner gets Boise. And remember, the playoffs this year, this first round, they're played on somebody's home campus, so home stadium. So that's why it's at Notre Dame, at Texas, at Ohio State, at Penn State. Did the committee get the teams right? We know the big controversy was about Bama. Bama and SMU.
Is Bama? Yeah, they got it right. I think SMU ended up losing to Clemson that last game. They got it right. I saw a lot of comments saying, hey, Bama fan here, and they got it right. And whenever a Bama says the committee got it right, that just tells us everything we need to know. They didn't play good football this year. Saban out of there. There's a lot that goes along with that, camaraderie-wise too. Maybe they even lost a little confidence from around the coaching staff. Saban's voice isn't here anymore.
For sure.
Different culture. They lost some people because Saban left as well, not only to the NFL draft, but also they lost some to other schools. There's a lot that goes on with that. I think Alabama will figure it out because it's Alabama. But at the same time, Saban isn't there anymore, which, he took years to build that culture to what it was. And I think they just took a little bit of a natural knock, not a horrible knock, but it was what it was this year. And they got it right. And, I'm in Indiana, so I got my eyes on IU Notre Dame.
What's that like? Is that the game everybody's talking about?
I'm rolling with Coach Sig. Coach Sig. Hey, Coach of the Year himself. AFCA Coach of the Year himself. Well-deserved, Coach Sig. Indiana University Hoosiers. Going up to Notre Dame in South Bend. Hey, your boy Freeman just got an extension too. He just got an extension. And Coach Sig said, hey, Google me. We here. Battle of Indiana. Let's get it.
Who's winning?
Man.
No, don't let that
Indiana Hoosiers by 3.
By 3 what?
24-27.
20. Oh, you crazy.
24-27.
Hey, nobody's been a bigger Coach Sig fan than me. I love Sig. Sig said at the beginning of the season, he asked him, if I build it, will you come? And by week 3, he'd done built it. Rome was built in 3 weeks, and they came. And I loved it. Hey, and I loved it. And, we went to Butler. We can't root for IU, but shoot, Coach Sig got me.
Yeah. Hey, look, no, I will never forget that very early in the season, Notre Dame took a big L to Northern Illinois University. Hey, and let me tell you, NIU didn't have a fantastic year either. So, hey, never forget, they lost to the NIU Huskies at the beginning of this year. I'm not going to put that. I mean, of course, Notre Dame went on to have a great year. There's no doubt about that.
Different. Yeah.
But my point is they're beatable by a lesser football team. That's all I'm saying.
Man, that was dang near a different football team, though. Look, what did we say that week when it happened? We said, Coach Freeman, after he lost to NIU, I said, you can't fire the man, but he going to have 8 a.m. I need you in Sunday's best in the AD's office at 8 a.m. I don't care. You better be in my lobby at 7:50 after that one. And he was. Hey, and whatever he said, it worked. Because it's been a different ball team. That Jeremiah Love running the ball for Notre Dame. I think, and Coach Sig, Coach Sig, the great season. Coach Sig, I'm a big fan. I'm a dang near a believer in Hoosier football. But Notre Dame's going to cover. And them boys know, hey, they say, hey, let's get serious. Let me throw this at you. You talking about IU's going to be. IU hasn't beaten Notre Dame since November 5th, 1898. They're not going to win. They beat them 11-5. They beat them 11-5 up in South Bend. That was even before Newt Rockland. That was before Notre Dame was Notre Dame. That was probably before IU was IU.
Coach Sig wasn't there. There's been a year of
Sig wasn't born.
There's been a lot of year of first this year for the Indiana Hoosiers. And why stop now?
They've played 29 times. All but one of those games was before 1960. Notre Dame, as much, and you know how the Indiana schools are. There's definitely the stigma, the Butler stigma, the Purdue stigma, the Notre Dame. They're the Catholics, and the IU, they're the party boys. But look, here's the deal: Notre Dame gonna say, "Hey, y'all can keep basketball down there. We're gonna keep this football up here, though." Newt Rockney. Hey, Newt Rockney would turn in his grave if they lost this game.
So you think it's going to be kind of Ohio State versus IU-esque?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
If not a little bit more. I think Notre Dame's probably a little bit better than Ohio State. So, I mean, and look, I like IU. It's been a great season. But everything must come to an end, big dog. And it's gonna be. Hey, at least you ain't gotta go too far. At least all you gotta do is hop on the bus and ride back down. Was that 65?
We don't need a flight. You don't
have to fly. You can just get on the bus, get them some sandwiches on the way back so they're not sad. Swing through Indy, drop a couple of kids off so they can be home for Christmas, and keep on going back down to Bloom. Coach C, great season now. But Notre Dame said we got business to handle. They've been a different team after they got embarrassed by NIU. You see the tickets? You know anybody going? Them tickets are crazy.
Those tickets are crazy. I don't know anybody going, but yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. A couple other games I'm excited for. I'm excited for that Clemson, Texas. See, let me back up. I think the committee did get it right, but one thing I wish they did, and I've heard them doing talks about they're going to change this up. Just because you won a championship, don't give you the automatic bye. The conference champ doesn't give you the automatic bye. I don't think Arizona State should have that automatic, bye like that. They had a really good season. Just get them in the playoffs, but then see the playoffs as the playoffs. You know what I mean?
That Texas, Texas, they can be sus sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
They remind me of Georgia. They can kind of be sus sometimes, like just real sus. Yeah, they're a really good football team for sure. But at the quarterback play can just be sus. They really can. So I don't really know.
And Quinn Ewers got that problem. He got that problem standing right behind him with that last name on his back. It's hard.
Exactly. It's hard when you got a lot of pressure. You got Manning right there breathing down your neck. And then he's kind of reminds me of Beck sometimes from Georgia. It's like, yeah, you were supposed to be a first-round draft pick, but do you really look like a first-round draft pick? Not really sometimes. So, it's like it's very sus. So, it's going to be a great matchup, though. I'm excited.
Man, I think the difference between Texas and Georgia is that Georgia just got that dog in them. When they need to win at the end of the game, first half looked terrible. Kirby going to go in there. We know he's putting his boot up everybody's butts. Big thing coming out brown, okay? That thing coming out brown after he puts it in all 110 of them or whoever's on roster. But they figure it out in the second half, whereas Texas, if they going back and forth, I mean, we saw in the SEC championship game between those two, Georgia pulled it out.
Yeah.
Texas let it go. They let off the reins.
Because I still, like you said, Georgia still, they deep down when it comes to the fourth, they remember what they got that G on their chest.
Hey, they got that G on their chest and that dog.
That G on their chest, like, hey, we Georgia. Okay, we was done playing with y'all.
Hey, we riding high on the hog. Hey, let's go ahead and buckle back down so we can go ahead and get to back what we're doing. So they that's what I like. But there's some good games. But I'd like the committee. Hey, okay, get the teams in. They got the teams right, but some of the matchups might be a little bit. Notre Dame. Probably if you're asking me, because Notre Dame, we talk about NIU, they haven't really lost in. I can't even remember a time where they even looked bad since then. They probably should be off this weekend, and probably Arizona State. Heck, you might even say Boise. We get they're a smaller school. Because Boise, look at Boise's path, or people keep saying, they say, look at Penn State's path. Now, I don't think Penn State, we know, they can't win the big game. They can't never win the big game. I can't remember them winning a whiteout game. They don't win a Big Ten championship. They might get to a few of them. But, if they beat SMU, which I think is doable, very doable, especially at home, then you play Boise, then what? Then you're right there in the champion. That road is so easy. Whereas you're, let's say you're Ohio State, you got to play Tennessee, then you got to play Oregon. Come on now. Ohio State beat Penn State, didn't they?
They sure did.
So why is there road?
Make it make sense.
Coach Day might be looking for a new day and a new job. And Tennessee, Oregon, then take your pick of Notre Dame, Georgia, at that point a red hot Penn State or Boise. It's like, come on.
Make it make sense.
Teams right to lay out format wrong, but it's one of them things. It'll get worked out over time. At least they're talking about it. At least we're trying to get it right. It's long before, them BCS days when the computer was doing it seemed like so long ago, but really it wasn't that long ago.
True. So true.
So, they're getting it right. They're getting it right. Let's go ahead and down. So let's talk a little hoops for a minute. So let me set up the conversation. So, and I know you're a WNBA season ticket holder, so we definitely got to get your thoughts on this. So here's the deal. Caitlin Clark. I know everybody know if you haven't heard her name, you've been under a rock, right? Caitlin Clark. She was named Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. This caused some waves, quite frankly, with everybody. Everybody done had something to say about it. So I'm just going to give her one quote. We're going to talk about one side of the conversation being had. So Caitlin Clark gave, she said, quote unquote, "I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege." Now that pissed off a lot of her fans, especially more conservative fans.
She's from Iowa. She's from Iowa. We understand.
But they're mad. She is, she got global appeal, but they're mad because she's basically admitting to white privilege. So she thinks, and a lot of backlash on that. People saying this and that. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, as a black man, she's right. It is what it is. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Being white comes with privilege, and period. And it's dope to hear that she recognizes that.
Right.
And also seeing that she won this award for Athlete of the Year, Time Athlete of the Year, as somebody who lives in the same city as Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever, she deserved every bit of it. Not only did she change around where she plays at, but she changed the global scope of the game, of the women's game, single-handedly. You take her out of it. I'm not going to a game watching women's basketball. I only went because of her.
Right.
And not only that, I'll take it a step further. I'm even watching other games that she's not even playing in that I was not watching before. And that's solely because of her.
Did you how many WNBA games you go to this year?
I went to at least 5 or 6. Easy.
Yeah. So that's a handful.
Hey, and they are more live as a Pacers season ticket holder, Indiana Pacers season ticket holder. The women's games are way more live than theirs.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot because we went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. That's saying a lot.
Right. No, she's right. And, she's an example. I mean, it is what it is. She's not saying, look, she said, "I earned every single thing." She was in the gym all the time. She was putting in the work. She put in the sweat. She knows what she did, the blood, sweat, and tears, this and that. But you just know, I call it the benefit of the doubt, really. Sometimes as a minority, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. And that's really the breaking line. And she's just saying, hey, I've gotten the benefit of the doubt, across the board, and that's helped her. And then no fault of hers, and she said, hey, the ladies before me, white, black, everything and indifferent, have built this league. But, the success I'm having is because of me, but also I'm also getting the benefit of the doubt. And it expands beyond the basketball court too. I'm sure she's meaning it as well. Right, so, I think everybody needs to Kool-Aid Jets. And let the girl be the girl, because anytime she says anything else, they're always like, just let CC be CC. That's what not the girl, the woman, but let her do her thing. Mm-hmm. So then other comments were made so she did an interview with Time Magazine as well. Now here's another conversation about CC, and it's probably a bigger conversation than the ones just, people getting mad because she said there's white privilege, because duh. So here's the comment. So she was made like I said, Time Athlete of the Year. We know all along there's been friction. I'm just going to say for one reason or the next, from someplace or the next, between Caitlin Clark and the rest of the league, especially some of the older heads in the league, right? So here, you talk about the Indy Fever. Let me talk about the Washington Mystics here in D.C. So the owner, Sheila Johnson, co-owner Sheila Johnson, had this to say about her being named Time Athlete of the Year. Let me read the quote. So when you just keep singling out one player, that's what Johnson's saying, it creates hard feelings. It has taken the WNBA almost 28 years to get to the point where we are now. And this year, something clicked with the WNBA. It's because of the draft, and it's because of the draft of players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Angel Reese. And it's Reese, you were saying, but Angel in parentheses. Angel Reese. We have so much talent out there. that has been unrecognized. So that's the whole quote. It's everybody. It's a whole draft class. There's always been this dilemma of who's getting the credit. What are your thoughts on the quote? What are your thoughts on the overall conversation around CC in the league?
Okay. As somebody who follows the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was the leader of that draft class. She came with the biggest fan base as well. I mean, literally, you would think that the Fever played in Iowa because everybody's there and they're black and yellow at the Fever's game.
What's it like at the game? Set up the arena too.
To give a picture, first of all, it's jam-packed from top to bottom. All right. To put that in perspective, I'm a season ticket holder for the Pacers. They do not sell out every game. There are some empty seats, especially on those Tuesday, Wednesday games. Literally, the Fever sold out a game at 12 noon on a Wednesday. At 12 noon on a Wednesday, when people are supposed to be at work. This arena was jam-packed, and it was not a playoff game. That tells you everything you need to know. And not only that, the whole arena is black and yellow. And we're not talking about the Steelers. We're talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Right.
All right? That a whole arena is decked out in black and yellow because 99% of them are driving 8 hours from Des Moines, Iowa. Okay? Or not – where is Iowa at? I forget what city it's in. But they're driving 8 hours from Iowa.
University of Iowa.
They're driving 8 hours to Indianapolis, Indiana. And so because of that, Caitlin Clark following is just so much bigger. Her fan base is just so much bigger than everyone else's. And that's no knock to other WNBA players. Her fan base, her individual fan base is bigger than the majority of NBA players as well.
Her fan base nationwide.
We're talking nationwide, and these people are like following her. Yeah. And so because of that, yes, Angel Reese contributed to the WNBA's, viewership. Yes, Kelsey Plum, and yes, I can Cameron Brink from the Sparks, and I'm just talking about, and yes, Asia Wilson. Yeah, we get all that. But there's one person named CC who's the leader of all that. And that's why she got the award. And there's really no debate. There's no debate at all. She's by far, I would argue that Simone Biles is the most famous, female athlete.
Sure.
And Caitlin Clark breathing down her neck right behind her.
Do you understand the hate behind it, or do you not get that?
I don't get the hate behind it because Caitlin Clark is not somebody who dishes out hate. Yeah. So I don't understand the hate behind it. I don't understand the backlash behind it. She's really just there to play basketball and make her teammates better. She took her team to the playoff. Like, I don't understand the hate. I really don't.
Quick shout out to Caitlin Clark, though. She's always going to them Butler basketball games. We know she's got some extra reasons to be there based on who's on the bench and who's coaching. Yeah. But she's always there supporting the dogs. So shout out to her because we support the dogs here too, straight up.
Sure.
Let me, because hold on a second. I got a lot to say about this. I've never seen a business fight money so hard than the WNBA. They, come on, Jerm, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought on the team, you're not supposed to be worried about who gets the credit, just the end result. Right?
That's right.
If you got to win, if you got more points at the end of the game, more points at the end of the game than the other team, you won, right? Everybody won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then why they worried about who getting the credit, man? It's time athlete of the year, not that team of the year or league of the year. It's an athlete, right? Everybody got bread this year. Hold on. I got some numbers for you. Because I'm gonna take this all the way back to the summer too, because I was ticked off then, and I'm still ticked off now. WNBA, CC, she sold out arenas. I remember when she came to DC, like everywhere else. So the DC Mystic, they play in a different part of town, in a smaller venue, something that more fits their size. It's definitely terrible playing in a stadium or a gym that doesn't fit your team or your fan base. So you want to play in something that fits, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But when the Fever came, they were at Capital One downtown, but the main arena, right?
Where the big boys play.
Where the big boys play, they filled it out just like they fill out every other place. She's got a nationwide fan base. WNBA lost $40 million this season. After all that, it was worse. She brought them money, and it's still worse. So CC, I don't get the hate. Minimum wage in the WNBA, $64K. Now in Indy, I know all the cities are different. Fever especially is one of the smaller markets. But let me tell you, $64,000 here in DC, that'll get you a co-living situation. Seriously, that means you're gonna have 4 roommates, 3 roommates, and you don't know any of them. $64,000 in LA if you play for the LA Sparks, probably get you a cardboard box, right? Girls eating beans. I thought the WNBA would be so supportive of, a nice, from everything that you can tell from the outside, a nice young lady coming in, just doing her thing, doing things the right way, elevating the league, elevating the game, elevating women's basketball. But all you see is everybody worried about who getting credit. Angel Reese, well, I don't want to be a villain, but I'm going to be a villain. Okay, who cares? Because, yeah, sure, she's helped. I'm not saying she's helped. I'm not saying she doesn't have work. She definitely has helped out the league. But we know, let CC have her shine too.
Yeah.
He's happy that a female basketball player is Time Athlete of the Year. Is girls eating beans in the offseason because they living in LA or they living in the Bay Area or they're living in DC or they're living in New York making $64,000.
Right. And not only are they making 64 bands and eating beans in those especially higher living cost markets, those same girls are having to go across seas because of
getting there.
So it's crazy. They're having to play in the WNBA and they're having to play overseas just to make a living off basketball.
You would have thought they learned their lesson after the Brittany Griner situation.
Mm-hmm.
They had the girl over there, her trying to play basketball, earn a check, ended her up in a Russian gulag for how long was she over there?
A minute.
We didn't know she was coming back, Jerm.
We didn't know she was coming back, dead or alive.
You thought, and to get a blessing, a financial blessing in the form of Caitlin Clark, not soon after that, and they do nothing but fight it. They don't get it. They don't get it, and it doesn't make any sense. And let me take it back, because remember, the hate really reared its head during the Olympics. Remember, they didn't want to put her on the Olympic team. Well, she wasn't there when we tried out. Yeah, she was too busy trying to get a Final Four and trying to take Iowa to the chip, right? She was too busy doing that. Well, we just trying to go with the best. We're making the basketball decisions. We're making the best players. Tell me why she ended up first team on WNBA. Tell me why she ended the season averaging 19, 5.5 rebounds and 8 assists. Didn't she set the assist record?
Yes, because she's a first team all WNBA for a reason. She should have been on the U.S. team. All of that, bro. It's
much
crazy.
Money did they lose doing that?
I don't understand why. I don't understand why they fight it. It's like none of y'all have a y'all business hat on at all. Like y'all just need to roll with this. Like you don't hear the men like, why does LeBron get all the praise? Why does Steph get all the praise? Why does Giannis get all the praise? Nah, we're going to roll with it. What's up?
If they would have taken her overseas,
everybody eats, and the WNBA don't understand that.
Rising tide. If they would have taken her overseas to the WNBA, let's just say, I'm going to be honest. Let's just say she didn't deserve it. But obviously, she's still coming with everything she got. I still would have took her because there's too many girls ladies at the end of the bench eating, working in the off season, going to Russia and Siberia, risking their freedom for a check. Man. Just put her out there, and you're gonna, it's women's basketball. Stick her out there. You're gonna blow every team out by 30 anyway. Let her go play, and she was worthy, and she really actually was worthy. But y'all were just hating on her, so you lost money, millions, tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions of dollars by getting her and the WNBA global exposure. Because, Jerm, you hit it on the head. Because of her, you watch the league, right?
That's it. I only watch because of her.
But you watch other teams too, though.
But I watch other teams. I watch because of her. But because of her greatness, I was like, oh, let me continue to watch these other women as well, because I'm sure they got a bag. I'm sure it's great basketball. But I gave the WNBA a shot because of Caitlin Clark. Period.
Half the league plays overseas. That's down from years previous, but still, why should they have to go anywhere? Sure, let somebody get the credit, but let somebody put back some bread in your pocket too. I'm good with that.
Yep, it's crazy.
The Migos said, "I'd rather be rich than famous." So why they fighting over? Why they fighting over who gets the credit?
Let me get the bag.
Let's go over to the men's hoops real quick. NBA tonight, NBA Cup, Bucks versus Oklahoma City. Tip off 8:30. Jerm, you watching?
Oh, yeah. Let's get it. East takes it tonight. Ooh, you know what? Let me just pull up this real quick. I think Giannis looks like he's on a mission, right? He looks like he's on a mission.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's leading the league in scoring for a reason.
He hasn't scored less than 30 since December 3rd.
Is it time to throw out our bets?
Not yet.
You know, I'm gonna hold off my bet, but I'm taking Milwaukee money line. I guess I already threw it out there. I'm gonna take Milwaukee only because Giannis looks like he's on a mission. He looks serious. He's trying to get his teammates that 500,000. Those two-way guys, those tweener guys, half in the NBA, half in the G League. Here go this 500 racks. Giannis taking home tonight.
Yeah, Giannis averaging 32, 11, and 6. Last time he didn't get 30 was December 3rd. Yeah, I like Giannis. Well, yeah, I like the Milwaukee, but I like Giannis for a double-double. I like Giannis 30 and 10.
Woo, yeah.
Giannis 30 and 10.
Giannis is coming. Look, SGA, I get it. We know who you are, but, man, something about Giannis when he's determined is really ain't too much stopping him. And I'm doing this too. Let's go, right. Let's go, Dame. Let's go.
Dame's been putting up some numbers lately. He definitely get his numbers in. He's having 20 plus over the past couple of games too. But here's the difference between those teams. One team is veteran, they're seasoned. The Bucks got a chip. A lot of those guys still there. A lot of those, a lot of people in the building still. OKC, they're just starting to rise to the top. And you got to go through those bumps.
Experience is real.
And you got to, just like we were talking about with Georgia, you got to go through some bumps to know how to get through the hard road.
Same thing last year. My Pacers, they went to the NBA Cup final versus the Los Angeles Lakers. We knew once we was playing the Los Angeles Lakers that, hey, your cup run was great, but King James is here now.
with some bread on the line, you know.
With some bread on the line. He doesn't care about that 500,000, but he knows that his teammate that could change some of his teammates' lives. Hey, let's go get it. Let's go get it.
Like LeBron knew what it meant to the league in order to make them games good, Giannis knows that too. He's also a star. He knows what it's like to carry a franchise. You know, he's the franchise player up there. He's got a chip. You know, he's one of the faces of the league. You know, he's the face of Greek basketball. He knows they're tuning in. He's got a banged up knee, but he's still going in. He's going in tonight.
Let's get it.
He's going in tonight. So I know, okay, so we'll talk about our bets, and then we'll talk about some bet strategy because a lot of people probably going to be putting some money on the books. People go off work, a lot of games going on. So you said give me your bet tonight.
Yeah, so right now the line Milwaukee Bucks is plus 154. They're actually underdogs, which I like. At plus 154. I'm just going to do a straight bet today. A little bit of strategy behind that. I can win more money, right?
Well, hold on. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. So, so I got Giannis. Double-double. I think he'll easily get that, and you could easily put him down for 25 plus. Like I said, he got the need, but I'm probably going for 30 plus. That's probably a safe one too.
Yeah,
he's just on fire, and that's what he's been doing. He steps up in big games, and he knows what it's like. So, obviously, with all the bets and stuff going on, it's different tricks, different strategies. So you like the single game, you like the single bets.
Yeah, I'm a safer better than you are, and I think it's good to hear both of our perspectives. I'm a safe better, meaning like I like to win more often. I don't win as big of money because of that, but I am a safer better, just kind of straight bets, meaning just one bet. Tonight it's kind of working in my favor because I like the Milwaukee Bucks and they just so happen to be underdogs. So I'm looking to hit something nice today.
Yeah, I do like the straight bets. I've been doing that some. I did it a lot over Thanksgiving. If there's something I really like that I'm like, this is gonna hit and it's a decent odds, like Milwaukee money. That's a perfect example of, okay, they probably gonna hit it for all the reasons we just went over. Let me do that. And then if anything else, I might double down. I might put that with the Giannis double-double. Probably tonight I'll do both. So I'll do a safety with just the money line. I'll do a Giannis double-double. If they got a decent odds on the SGA points, I might throw that in.
Yeah, because he's gonna have a big game. He's
gonna show up.
For sure.
He's gonna show up. That way, if both hit, great. If one hit, if the Bucks win, I'll still get my money back. And with and being the underdog, I might even get a dollar or two more than that. But one thing too, I remember last year when the bowl game, that's really when I started getting into the betting some last year with the bowl game. One thing I was doing, man, I'm checking the lineups, bro.
Okay.
Who's not? Who's playing for something? Who's not? So let's take a game like Bama, right? First of all, every time I open my feed, another Bama players transferring out of there, right? Yeah. They're upset about this and that. Michigan already coming off a big win, right? They have dudes who were on the national team last year. All their guys may or may not be playing. That's something I'm going to be checking. But if they got a couple big names still playing, and Bama's got all their guys missing and guys out and the program in disarray, I'm going to take Michigan, you know? Cam Ward, I think he said for Miami, he said he's playing. Okay, let me look at Miami then. You know what I mean? As opposed to some of these other programs where guys like, no, I'm going to get drafted. I'm going to do this and that. So do some research. See who's on the roster. Do some research. See who's on the sideline. Coaches leaving left and right. Coaches got speculation swirling. And these are for the non-playoff games specifically. You know what I mean? The playoff games, everybody should be suited and booted. I think there are a few exceptions, but for the most part, everybody should be suited and booted. So definitely check the lineups. And also the other thing I'm doing, especially with these college bowl games, I'm checking the strength of schedule. We talked about SMU, right? We talked about SMU playing Penn State. I mean, the knock on SMU was they didn't play nobody all year.
We're talking about Big Ten. Exactly.
You know, and they come in the ACC championship game. They play Clemson. First of all, Clemson's in the position they're in because they had to get help on rivalry weekend. So already the game was watered down. Now everybody said you were a watered down team in a watered down league. Now they're really watered down. Penn State probably will cover. I'm taking Penn State to cover. I'll tell you right now, in my sleep, I'm taking Penn State to cover.
For sure.
As long as it's not something crazy. So if it's 7.5 or less, I'm taking Penn State to cover. And that's just because I don't think SMU has them horses. They can't keep up.
Nah, me either.
They said they're getting that NIL collective, but that's next year. That's not this year. So that's something else too. So just look for those moments. And that going back to the single bets, like that's probably a Penn State single bet. Boom. I'm not taking an over or under. We saw SMU can put up points. Maybe they don't then. I don't know. But I just know Penn State going to win in Happy Valley. You know, so that's just a good single bet game. So, just things to think about. Think of the whole situation. Don't overthink it. These are different teams than who were in the season for the non-college playoff ones, and for the playoff ones, a little research. That's why I'm like IU. We were going back and forth about IU and Notre Dame. I said, the one challenge IU did get, because they had the same argument. They didn't really get tested, with the exception of Ohio State, and we saw how they showed up for them. I said, I ain't got them. Notre Dame just looks too good, and they know the deal. They got embarrassed once they said, "Here's the deal. We're 5 stars too." So
I may have been a little biased in my Hoosier prediction.
That home
I'm not backing down. I'm doubling down. 27-24. Let's get it.
You taking Coach Sig 27-24?
Let's get it in South Bend.
Boy, all right, one of us is going to win. One of us is going to lose that bet.
That's right.
That's funny. All right. So we got Milwaukee money line. Giannis double-double. Giannis probably putting up 30 tonight. I'm taking definitely for a 25. And, he definitely will give you 25 tonight. Big game for him. NBA Cup action. A lot of stuff going down. Next week, it's going to get in some real estate. Probably talk a little bit about that. Hopefully we'll know more about these interest rates and talk about some 2025. So that's kind of wrapping up Ball N Biz, Jerm.
Let's get it. Hey, happy to have you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's Ball N Biz. And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Ryan. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.